This episode of Translating Love is brought to you by Masters of Coffee. Because Masters of Coffee is a local Austrian company, this ad will be in German.
Yes. Zu einem ordentlichen Morgenritual gehört nur eines.
Poop?
No, Coffee. Of course. Und diese Episode wird gesponsert von Masters of Coffee. Seit Anfang 2021 gibt es sie bereits und Matthias und Bernd bringen ihr Barista-Know-how mit. Ihr Kaffee wird nicht nur online, sondern bereits in diversen Geschäften vertrieben. Und das Coole ist, man kann sie auch renten. Das heißt, rent a Barista und man kann die Masters mieten. Was auch immer ansteht, gute Kaffee sollten nicht zu kurz kommen. Das heißt, bei Hochzeiten oder bei anderen Veranstaltungen gibt es guten Kaffee direkt von den Brüdern. Und das Tolle ist, es gibt auch Workshops. So man kann so für zu Hause einfach lernen, einen guten, super ordentlichen Kaffee zubereiten. Super cool. Und ein richtig cooler Service ist Pimp meine Kaffeemaschine. Also man kann wirklich seine Kaffeemaschine individualisieren mit Griffen, mit Schnickschnack, super cool. Also es ist sehr einzigartig. Und wer mehr über die Masters of Coffee erfahren will, geht auf die Homepage www.mastersofcoffee.eu, auf Facebook unter Masters of Coffee Austria oder auf Instagram unter @themastersofcoffee und alle Links findet ihr auch unten in der Description. Das Tolle ist auch, wer in der Linzer Area ist, kann sich auch ein persönliches Bild machen und jederzeit auf einen Café bei den Jungs im Store in der Leonfeldner Straße 328 in der Lederfabrik vorbeischauen.
And welcome back to a brand new episode of Translating Love. I'm Dani.
And I'm Woifi. How are you, Dani? If that's your real name.
I'm fine, Woifi, but it's not my real name. How are you?
What is your real name? I'm fine. Okay.
I actually can't say my real name because just the sound of it makes people's brain... No, it makes people's brains explode. It's not meant for human ears.
Busendilly.
No, it's not meant for human ears.
Crap bag. We're back
with a brand new episode of Translating Love.
Episode of Translating Love. And first of all, I want to thank our listeners and for keeping listening and for, sending us sweet little messages. And we're trying to branch out a little bit and I mean, we already did that already, but try to get guests on the podcast, but also put a little teaser or little trailers to other podcasts we enjoy. So you might hear those once in a while in either before the podcast or in the middle of the podcast. And let us know if there's a podcast you really like and we could shout out to. But yeah, other than that, you're always welcome to, send us your feedback. And if you have any topic suggestions or just you want to talk with us, you can reach us on our Instagram or website or Anchor page. And it's all
linked in the description.
Linked in the description. That's true. And today we're talking about Danielle going away for a couple of days.
Yeah. I need to go to an insane asylum for a couple of days.
I think that would not be enough for a couple of days, to be honest.
Yeah, unless they do a lobotomy or something and then just send me back.
You come back completely mindless and drooling.
Yeah.
Lobotomy.
No, I'm traveling to Holland.
To get some weed. To smuggle weed into the country.
No. I'm going to Holland because my brother lives in Holland and he has an 8-month-old baby. And I have not yet been able to meet my nephew because of COVID.
Indeed.
So now it's officially, as of June 10th, it's all opened up again for people in Austria.
For now.
So I'm jumping at the chance and I'm going, by the time you're listening to this, it's a Friday, so I've already been there for a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm staying home.
You're staying home. He's to work, unfortunately, so he can't really join me on my adventure.
Indeed, I have to work. And yeah. And that's kind of that's why we thought it would be an interesting topic. Maybe, maybe not. But it's kind of the first time. I mean, you or the judge or the judges or whatever it's called. But it's the first time since we're like apart for a longer amount of time, since 2017, which is crazy.
Yeah.
If you think about it, we've been not like apart for over 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty insane. 3 years.
4 years.
No, 4 years. You're right. I can do math.
Yeah. It's not hard. So, and that's why we thought, let's talk about it. Yeah. And we did that, and that's it, everybody.
That's it, and see you later.
See you later. No. Obviously, I mean, it's a short amount. It's like, it's not 5 even a
days.
week. It's 5 days. And I already said that, like, I will miss you. Mm-hmm. But I think it also will be good in a sense that you have a lot of alone time with your brother and with Ramses.
Mm-hmm.
And also just being alone, traveling alone is kind of nice. And I think for us to be apart, kind of to maybe value each other more again.
Yeah, I agree. It's so weird. I never really had an issue. No, issue's the wrong word. I never really had like a problem with being apart from my partner.
Yeah.
For, I don't know, if it's a couple of days or whatever, even if we live together or, you know, whatever it might have been. It never was like, I was always like, yeah, okay, cool, see you later. Mm-hmm. But it's weird because this is the first time where I'm like, not the first time. I mean, if it's ever come up in conversation, then like you might go away for a couple of days, or which has never happened since we've been together. But the thought of us not like sleeping in the same bed every night, or, you know, being apart from each other for more than a couple of days makes me really sad.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the first time I've felt that, especially after this amount of time of being together.
Yeah.
Which I find also very interesting, that I like you so much that after being together this long, the thought of not being in the same like space anymore for even just a couple days is really sad to me.
The thing is I'm excited a little bit about it because I haven't been alone for so long. And so I think it's going to be nice.
But I think it's going to be nice too.
But at the same time, I know that I'm going to miss you, and like knowing that you sleep next to me each night, or I wake up next to you each morning is nice, and I like that. So I will definitely miss that. But I think that's the nice thing, kind of, to see that, you know, you were so close and you like those, I wouldn't say simple things, but in the end, those are simple things. Waking up next to each other is not, like, if you think about it, not super special, but at the same time,
I think it's special.
No, but, you know, it's not, you know, I mean, I think it's special too, but
I know what you mean.
But it's a very normal thing if you're married or together with someone.
Yeah. But I mean, I agree. I think it'll be really good. Even if I mean, I can already say I know my nights like sleeping are going to be really lonely because I'm staying at like an Airbnb. So I'm just like in a strange place and by myself, basically. And
you'll party all night.
I won't.
Party all day.
I'll watch probably Desperate Housewives.
Oh, you haven't finished it yet?
No, it's 9 seasons or 8 seasons.
Oh my God.
Halfway through season 7. So by the time I get back, I'll probably be done with Desperate Housewives. Mm-hmm. Anyways, but I know that nights will be lonely because even like the times that we've had arguments and slept in separate rooms, I'm super lonely when I'm sleeping in bed alone. So that I think will be difficult. But I am really excited to have just time with my brother where it's just the two of us, where I don't have to worry about like if you're bored or if you want to go do something. You know, it's like you don't have to worry about somebody else and what they want to do.
No,
you
but
can just focus on yourself.
That's
and I
why
like
I said
that.
I think that's going to be nice for you to just have that time with your brother and to just not just do whatever you want to do with him, not think about like, okay, maybe he wants to do something else, or maybe he wants to go home, or maybe, you know, something like that.
That's really nice. But what's interesting, I will say, so I've traveled a lot, like my entire life, and whether it was with family or, friends or just alone. And I'm like a super confident traveler. And I've literally never had an issue of like going to an airport or finding my way around a town that I've never been, even if I'm completely alone. I mean, I went to New York alone and I was perfectly fine. I thought I was going to be terrified there, but I was perfectly fine on my own. And I've never had an issue with that. But for some reason, and I think it's because it's been so long, anytime I've traveled, it's been with you in the last 5 years or 4.5 years. And so now it's like all of a sudden throughout the past couple of days, as I get closer to leaving, I'm like getting more and more anxiety about it, where I'm like, just the train from Linz to the airport in Vienna, I have to do one change. And I'm like, what if I can't find the platform? What if I miss the train?
Yeah, right.
Where it's like these really simple things that have never been a problem for me. And I'm like panicking.
But I think a big part of why it's going to be super smooth is that we already have traveled there. Basically the same way you were going.
True.
And it's super easy. First of all, Vienna airport is super tiny, small.
Yeah.
The train to Vienna is super easy and you have to change one platform. And the airport in Amsterdam is big, but also super easy to navigate because you essentially just have to go to the train and take the train. That's it. So I think it will be fairly easy with that once you... The thing is, I get that like when I travel, especially on plane or by plane, I am so fucking nervous and freaked out until I'm on the plane. And then I'm freaking out because of starting. But then I'm chill and then I'm freaking out because of either turbulence or landing.
No, see, for me, I like landing. Once they say that we're landing, I'm like chill. But I used to love flying, and as I've gotten older, I think this is actually fairly normal, but as I've gotten older, I get more terrified of flying. And where I'm like, what if something happens? Especially when I'm alone. And that's what I've noticed, like the many, many times that I had to go back and forth from Austria to the US. Every single time I boarded a plane, I was terrified. What if I die in a plane crash and then leave you, and you're not here and you're not dying with me? And I get so terrified of that thought.
I get that.
So, which in theory is kind of a silly thought anyways, because there are so many statistics that you're more likely to have a car crash than a plane crash. Yeah. But still, the thought's always there. So I'm really nervous usually until we're in the air. Once we're like cruising altitude, then I'm fine. But
there's also this rule that God would never let the plane crash when a baby's on board, which probably is not true.
I don't think that's true.
But I like to see it as a rule. So every time there's a baby on board, I'm like, yes.
Until it starts crying and then you turn to me and you're like, God damn it.
Until it sits right next to me or behind me and starts crying and the mother's like, I don't give a shit.
I mean, if it's a baby, she can't do that much. It's only so much you can do.
You can shake it. Yeah. Or you can stuff it into the toilet.
Sure.
Head in first. But I don't know. The thing is, the last time I traveled like alone was in 2016 going to the US. And that was also the first time traveling alone. But I remember it was scary, but it was so like liberating and like an adventure and exciting. And the thing is, it was not like I was getting there and nobody was there for me, or so it was also, I anticipated seeing you and coming there and being like welcomed by someone. But at the same time, then when I traveled to San Francisco, I was basically on my own. So I had to navigate everything by myself in this massive town, getting like a car, even though I didn't like reserve one, trying to navigate the city and finding my Airbnb in this massive town, then trying to find a parking spot and trying to figure out like the laws of parking and shit.
Yeah.
Which that alone is a science. and I got a ticket, which I could myself. I talked myself out
Talked yourself out of.
which was super surprising because back then my German was not my English. My German.
Back then, my German was not very good.
My German was not good back then. No, my English was pretty weak, but I think that helped me.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, that dum. He can't even speak proper English. Let's just erase his.
But did you get a ticket on your car and then have to drive somewhere? Did you drive to the police station?
No, to the DMV.
Ooh.
Yes.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I got the ticket and
although
it said
I would
on
guess
the back.
that the DMV in San Francisco is much better than like the DMV in
The
the
thing
Midwest.
is, if you're a tourist
Wisconsin.
and if you can prove that you're a tourist, which I did, it's super easy to talk yourself out of it because you can say, okay, look, I'm here for only 2 weeks or 1 week and I have no fucking clue how the parking system works. I did it once and I'm sorry, I'm not going to do it again. Here is my passport. I can prove that I will leave. I think I had to show them my plane ticket back.
Yeah.
And that's it. And they said, yeah, it's fine. But it was a hassle because I had to. So the thing is, I looked at it, it was like $70 or $80.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it was a lot. So I was like,
Ouch.
God damn it. At first I felt like, okay, I'll pay it. And then I looked at it. And on the back, it was like, if you're a tourist or blah, blah, you can, go to your local DMV, Department of
Motor Vehicles.
And basically ask them you can tell them a reason why you shouldn't pay it or why you should not be obligated to pay it. And I was like, oh, fuck it, I have some time this morning, I'll try it. And so I drove down there. Went in and then they told me, yeah, we can totally do it, but they need passport. And then, of course, I didn't have that with me, so I had to drive back. Get it, drive back there again, get in, and then I had to wait for like an hour, maybe a little less.
That's like actually nice waiting time for the DMV.
There were not that many people, but I was, I think, the only white guy in there, which felt a little intimidating because, I'm DMV, first of all, you always hear those stories. And in this massive town, knowing nobody. And then I went in there and there was this like really buff, a big man sitting in there, super intimidating. And we talked for like 20 minutes or 15 minutes. And then he said at the end, yeah, it's fine. I don't have to pay it. Which in retrospect, I was super proud of myself for handling the whole situation, for figuring something complex like that out, and for even getting like the courage together to go there and talking myself out of. Because if you have ever dealt with a local authority or like a local, what is it called?
I mean, that was right. Local authority.
It's even if it's in your mother tongue, even if it's in your country, it's not always easy to go there and just like
mother tongue for you English speakers is native language.
Mother tongue. Yeah, but I was super proud. So point of the story being is that traveling alone can be super exciting. And the fun thing
I also think you have like some of the best stories.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's like it's an adventure
Yeah.
and it does feel like you accomplish something and you gain so much confidence when you accomplish something that even if it's just as simple as getting from point A to point B. But when you're alone, especially in a foreign country, or if you don't speak the language, or if it's not your first language, then it gives you like this sense of achievement.
Yeah. And it's also nice to, I remember almost everything about that trip, like coming to San Francisco first time, getting the car, and I drove it on the freeway. And it's an automatic, and I'm used to like having a clutch and shifting gears myself. So I stepped into the brake because I thought it's a clutch. And thankfully nobody was behind me, but my car just like did a full brake in the middle of the highway. So I was pretty lucky there. That shook me a little bit. But then driving to San Francisco and just finding the Airbnb first of all, and then just navigating through the city with the public transport, it's another complete different thing. But with the car, it was so cool to just after 3 days, I basically didn't need any navigation anymore because I knew, okay, this is how the especially in the US, this is how the streets are laid out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have the numbers and then you have the names.
Yeah, that's not everywhere. That's in big cities.
In big cities, no,
yeah.
sure. But it's so nice because then you have to go, okay, I have to be on this street, and then you see, okay, like I have to drive down and then this number down and then I'm on this street and then I just need to find the red block basically.
Mm-hmm. But that's another thing that works to your advantage. You're a very good navigator and you're really, really good at, you just remember your surroundings so well, even if you've only done when our friends, for example, moved to a different town
Mm-hmm.
and you had never been to that town, that you knew like the general
Mm-hmm.
area. I saw you literally look at the map, not even the directions, but you look at the map once, you're like, oh, okay. And you just knew how to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until we were really close to their house that you needed to like look up exactly, okay, do I need to turn here?
Yeah.
But you just like, you're really good at that. You have a really good sense of direction.
I could probably find the Airbnb right away where I stayed.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I know exactly in what corner, so I could totally find it. Yeah, super easy to get there. But it's not everywhere. For example, the Airbnb in Portland. The thing is, I know where it was. I know exactly how the neighborhood looks. But since I wasn't driving, I probably would not be able to just like locate it. I would be able to locate it on Google Maps. But yeah. No, but I mean, my whole point is that traveling alone is really fun. And as much as it sucks that I can't be there this time, and as much as I will miss you, but there are a lot of upsides. But the thing is, I wonder, and I don't know if people have stories of whoever's listening right now. Yes, you. No, not the other guy, you. I wonder if you're in a relationship, in a professional, that sounds wrong. If you're in a romantic relationship,
do you and your boss travel together? Do you feel like it's weird if your boss goes on vacation and doesn't bring you with?
Do you miss your boss? How does it feel when he comes back with another woman or man or both? No, but if you're in a relationship, in a romantic relationship, and is there like other occasions where you travel like separate because of work or whatever reason, and how do you handle that? Like how do you feel about that? I wonder. So if anybody has like a story out there, I would totally appreciate to hear from that, like either on our Instagram, or probably the easiest way on Instagram. You can also send us a short voice clip on Anchor. But yeah, I would totally love to hear that because I think it's an interesting topic.
Well, for me, it's like I'm so interested in. I'm sad that you can't come with me. I really wish that you could. I'm still excited for the trip. I mean, I get to meet my nephew and see my brother, so it's for me. I'm super super excited. But and I also agree with you. I think it's going to be good for us to have a couple of days.
You are not allowed to look at your nephew.
Oh, okay.
I wanna look at it at the same time you look at the baby. The baby is. The baby is it in German. So, but
no, I was
so
in
every
the middle
time
of
you
a
look,
thought.
every time you look at the baby, you close your eyes.
How should I look at the baby and close my eyes?
I mean, you know where the baby is, so every time you look over, you close your eyes.
Okay, I won't do that.
I will hold you accountable.
How? You're gonna be here?
No, but with your brother. I will make sure your brother knows.
He won't do that either.
Okay.
But what I was going to say is that I actually otherwise don't really love the idea of travel like without you, because I love exploring new places with you, and I love like I have no real big desire to like go somewhere alone.
I agree.
Anymore, because I really enjoy doing that with you, because I think we always have so much fun when we travel.
I agree. The trip to Montenegro, even though it was a work trip, essentially was super fun because we were exploring a lot. We met a lot of cool people. And then even the trip to Croatia, even though we fought a lot or some days.
Oh, we had like one big fight.
But that was a lot of fun too, exploring the area and just driving around the island and then of course traveling to the US to see your family. That was fun too. You showed me all the neighborhood. We were walking through basically all the downtown area of
We walked
Milwaukee.
so much that one day.
So I
Holy
totally
cow.
agree. If it's not something where I have to travel alone, or where I can easily, bring you along, then I agree. I would travel with you rather than alone. But I'm also looking more forward to like traveling, like short trips for work again, where I like stay overnight for one or two nights, just for work. I'm also looking forward to that. That's also, I think it's a nice thing too, because it always gives you something to look forward to coming home.
That's true.
And it's also good to get out of your comfort zone once in a while.
True that.
I think that's it.
I think that is it.
But please, again, let us know if what is your experience with traveling alone or without your partner, and if that's like how you handle that, if you're staying home or vice versa. Other than that, if you like what you hear, I always say that, but you can totally rate us on Apple Podcast, and please consider subscribing wherever you listen to the podcast. And if you want to know more about us, or if you want to just talk, you can reach us on our Instagram and Anchor page and website, translatinglove.podcast.com. That's it.
That's it. If you didn't understand any of that, I'm really sorry. But
you can listen to the other episodes and you will exactly know what I said. Bye.
Goodbye.
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 Hey, I'm Kara, host of the Conquest of Bliss podcast, a show designed to help people explore well-being in a casual setting. The thing is that I spent a super long time searching for well-being, and once I finally started to gather some of the tools and understanding, I started wondering why it was so hard to access in the first place. So, the Conquest of Bliss was born. And even though it still feels extremely vulnerable, every week I release a new conversation about important topics that make up our well-being. Amazingly, I get to spend my time talking to experts like neuroscientists and psychologists, and lay people like plumbers, authors, and yoga instructors, all helping me working together to create a diverse, expansive library of conversations around what happiness and well-being are, what tools we can use to get there, and what it looks like sometimes when it plays out in the real world. If you want to join me on my journey, The Conquest of Bliss is available anywhere podcasts are found.